Hi, welcome to Golf FM. This is a review of the Ogio All Elements silencer bag for 2024. I've not stocked Ogio before, this is a first for me. They are owned by Callaway, so I've always done Callaway, and Ogio is supposedly a bit of a bag specialist. They make really good rucksacks and cases and bags and things like that. Bit of a strange name. Apparently it stands for Our Gear is Organised, if you didn't know that. That doesn't really matter. You're here because you want to know, is it a good trolley bag? You're probably here because you're looking for a waterproof bag, first and foremost, that goes on a cart, goes on a trolley. The silencer part, maybe you're looking for that as well, I don't know, but I'll go through that with you. So first thing to say about these is they are quite expensive. This is meant to be over £300, but I mean the recommended retail that the suppliers come up with isn't worth the paper it's written on. I don't even know why they bother, to be honest, because nobody goes anywhere near it. This should be over £300 and sells for about £269. So that's what you're looking at. It's quite a lot, so it's actually not that much more than a lot of the waterproof bags out there. Some of the Sun Mountains get over 300, which I just think is too much, even though they're really good. So this is affordable to a certain degree, and if it's good, then for it being at the slightly pricier end of the market, maybe it's worth it. So let's have a look at it. I've got two here. These are the most subdued colours that Ogio do. There's a lot of really wild Ogio bags out there. This black and red one is about as subdued as it gets. Because I hadn't done them before and I don't have huge confidence in what the reception is going to be like from customers, I wanted to go safe with the colours, so I just kept it fairly safe. Although I have got one really flowery Harry bag coming in, which a few people will hate, I would imagine. Let's talk about the top first of all. So the silencer part looks a bit different and weird when you first see it, and most people that have had a normal bag will think, what the hell's going on here? This is to stop your clubs hitting into each other, and it actually does a brilliant job of that, I have to say. Like, if it's moving about in a cart that you drive, a buggy as we call them here, that going over rough terrain, they're not hitting. And I mean, there's even an argument to say you don't even need head covers because the woods aren't hitting each other. I would still say go with head covers, but it could almost do it. It almost, apart from the putter, passes the upside down test. Now, this is not a test I normally do with bags, but I might have to start doing it just to see what happens, how much of a mess it is. But with this, look at this. And the putter even survives for a little while. It's surviving the whole test here. A bit of a shook it'd probably come out. The putter doesn't feel quite as firm in there as the other ones. And you've got to forgive Ogio for that because there's so many different putter grips and sizes and stuff that the bottom of that, which helps secure it, would have to be all different sizes, and it can't be. But the putter does go in there nicely. Does it work? This silencer thing, it certainly stops the clubs hitting each other, there's no question. When they go in and out, it's quite a firm pull. I mean, you're probably the most chance of doing any damage is when you're trying to get them out, because you sort of pull it and as you heard a hit into the club there. But if you're being careful, you could move that out of the way slightly, turn the head and bring it out, and you wouldn't hit anything. Some people won't be that bothered. Like if you buy cast clubs, they're pretty hardy. They're not going to mark up much when you hit into them, so they don't do much. But forged clubs, so a full set of forged clubs, which cost a lot of money, they're really soft metal. If they bang about, they get really quite bad looking quite quickly. So if you've got a really expensive set that you want to keep good and look nice and pristine for all time, then this is the bag to go for. It really does work well. And as I say, it's firm getting out. If you're really frail, you might struggle to actually release that, but most people with an ounce of strength in them are going to get that out. There's actually 15 slots, I think. That's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So that's 14, and there's another one spare there. So 15 club option if you want to get yourself disqualified. So I think the top of it is brilliant. I think that silencer design is really, really good. Some people think it looks a bit weird, but I think you'd quickly get used to the fact that it actually works really, really well. I can't see any major issues with that. The only thing I did worry about was, could you get anything that if you managed to be stupid enough to drop anything down here, is it gone forever? Is that the end of it? And it's going to be rattling around in the bottom of your bag or getting moldy or whatever. But no, there is actually in here a little zip. You've got a fighting chance of getting in to the bottom of the bag and retrieving what you've stupidly let fall down there in the first place. So this is the waterproof one, £269 roughly. Pockets, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4 at the front. This one at the top has got plastic air thing in it, as they all come with. So that's free of charge. And then this is a good pocket. That looks insulated there. No, it's not. It's not. Talking rubbish. You don't get insulated pockets really in waterproof bags. I think because they sort of think, well, you're out on a rainy day and it's not generally that warm when it's raining, although some countries it will be, and you don't need a cold drink, they've decided. So maybe it's just too much work and expense to put in as well. So that's got a little extra pocket in there. The thing with waterproof bags is you tend to not get too many fancy pockets, because if you think about it, they've got to seam seal round all the back of any stitching that they do has got to be shored up at the back so no water gets through it. And so they just think, right, they calm down with the pockets and they just give you the bare minimum. This has got a good one there with a little bit sectioning off inside, which is good, and then a secondary pocket down there again with some free air. There you go, used that up already. And that's a big deep pocket. Could get absolutely loads in there. You could get the proverbial roast chicken in there probably, but it wouldn't be insulated. You couldn't keep it warm because it hasn't got insulation, but a little bit of a difficult entry for the chicken possibly, but it would actually take it. Maybe not a massive one, probably one for a family of 4 or 5, at a push 4 probably, you're talking there. And certainly no vegetables. In here, let's have a look. Air again. Free air. Gone. Used up. That's finished. This is insulated, everybody. Wow. Good effort, Ogio. Good effort. And that could house an average sized roast chicken if you wanted, and keep it nice and warm. So you can put cold drinks in there and have cold drinks when it's freezing cold and raining. Or if you're in India and it's a monsoon and it's warm, then that would really benefit you because you've got cold drinks. Probably be cancelled anyway and you'd be going back to the clubhouse, but there it is, it's insulated, which is a good effort, as I say. And then 2 drinks holders, whatever you want, on nets at the side, which is actually really good. They're useful, and for a rangefinder to go in there as well, I find that useful. You can get at it quickly. You've got umbrella thing in the side there with a little hole there at the bottom to hold it. Let's just see how good that works, because you're going to need an umbrella. If you've got a rain bag, a wet weather bag, you're going to need an umbrella. So that goes in there really nicely, and it's at the front. It's not getting in the way with any of the straps on trolleys or carts too much. This pocket here at the side, the main sort of clothes pocket, let's put this up here. Put this up here instead of being down on my knees. So this is really good and has got a bit of give. Some of these waterproof bags can be really tight and it sort of wants to rip really easily. This one, lots of room in there and a good bit of give. I'm liking this more and more as I examine it, because I haven't gone through it with a fine tooth comb yet. This pocket on the side, exactly the same as the other one, houses the rain hood. Nothing else to say about that. There's no extra wee compartments in there, but absolutely tons of room and a lot of give. What I actually should have mentioned on this last pocket, this one down the bottom, unusual, never seen this in a waterproof bag before, 2 zips going together. So there is a tiny little gap there. So if you are going to have that as a waterproof pocket, have it down one of the sides. But that is actually good. That generally is good, and you're not going to rip it as easily. That's one of the problems with waterproof bags, is a lot of the time people get sort of impatient and not used to how different waterproof zips are. They tug them and rip the pockets, and then I have to send it back and get them a replacement. And it was their fault in the first place for being too ham-fisted with it. Anyway, some of them are actually not great made, and that's why I'm talking about this give factor being good, because if you are going to be a little bit ham-fisted with it, this is the one to be ham-fisted with, because you've got nice pulley zips, which is difficult to make a mess of. In fact, the way these zips are moving on this is as good as I've seen in a waterproof bag. And by the way, in this bottom pocket there is a little drainage hole, so it won't fill up with water. Should you leave that little bit at the top and it just fills with water, it's not going to be like a little sort of swimming pool in there. Well, if you had a cup, you could sort of put your cup in and just get a wee drink of water if you left it free. But there's probably going to be golf balls and stuff in there, so it would be, you'd get germs off that. So I wouldn't advise that. So we've been through the main pockets. There's one at the side here. old furry valuables pocket in there with a little key sort of holder thingy, which they always seem to have, and I never use for anything. But anyway, some people maybe do. Good pocket. I like, that's always an important pocket for me. If that one's good, that's where I put a lot of stuff I want to get in, like my pitch mark repair and a few tees and balls and glove and stuff that I'm using, and then I would have the main stock of refill stuff in these spaces. There's actually loads of space in this for everything. It's almost too much space. And then, is that it? Strap at the back, these sort of cart handle bits, that work well. You can put you know, a ride-on buggy cart through there quite nicely. There's also a little handle here which you could go through. Again, these are good for the trolley. I would say maybe the only thing, if for the UK market and other markets that use trolleys a lot, the strap doesn't come through and round under this. So, you know, your strap's going to go round, push the pocket in a bit at the top and come round here and join at the end, but it will be securely on because it's going to go through these things and through this handle. So the only thing you could argue is it could slip up at the top a little bit. There's nothing really to stop it, but I don't see that being a problem, to be honest, because you can get it quite tight round there, and as I say, it's pretty secure at the back. The handles at the top are good for lifting the bag in and out of a golf cart, and if you're putting it into your boot. There's not a grab handle at the bottom there. All there is for getting it into the boot are these two handles, so you're gonna have to do that to get it in your car, which actually kind of works with the silencer thing. That's quite heavy to do that. Right, there's no grab handles really, so maybe slightly marked down for that, for getting it into the boot of your car. Is that the only downside to this bag? I think it probably is. There's a little Velcro bit for glove and a wee pencil bit in there even. That's quite good. I really like this. I really like this. I think once you get your head round the silencer section on the top and what it looks like, some people might think that looks really good. I highly recommend this. I can't do anything but recommend this. I don't see any major issues with it. I think the grab handle thing at the bottom for putting it in the car is maybe one slight downside. But again, you're going to be able to get it in your car. You'll be able to lift it into your car. It's not that difficult. And is that it? So well done, Ogio. You've passed the Golf FM bag test, which is not easily done. This is a good hood, so see how it goes on. Shall we just check to see, in case it's a flaw, if this is a rubbish design for putting on or not? Let's have a look at this. Right, here we go. First attempt, not reading the instruction manual, which is standard practice for a man. You have a go first, and then once you get in a rage, that's when you look at the instruction manual. And you say, how can this product be so badly designed that you have to look at the manual to do something like this? So I'm trying. I don't see anything obvious. I'm thinking there's zip bits at the back. Oh, I tell you what, I bet it's using these handles at the side. Yeah, it is. That's your sort of attachment point, is these massive handles that I managed to not see. So is it all right? It's a wee bit, if that's how it goes on, and probably the guys at Ogio are shouting at me saying, what an idiot. Look at that, I can't even get the hood on properly. I think that's how it goes on. It's not going to come off very easily, but there's slight gaps in it. You know, there's a little bit of a hole there in that edge. I'm sure if I've done it wrong, I'll be getting plenty of comments telling me how I have done it wrong. But that is how I would do it, and it would work to a certain degree, but there's a slight gap there and I'm not terribly happy with that. So it's probably about a 6 or 7 out of 10 for the hood. It's alright. I mean, it's nice quality, it's big enough, and there's decent zip on. 2 double zip, which is good, that's helpful. But I don't know, could have been a slightly more secure, obvious way of getting it on, and no gap would have been nice. So yeah, tiny bit of a slight drawback. There's not to the point where I wouldn't recommend it, because there's so many good things about it. It's a little bit heavier maybe than some of the waterproof bags, but not really that much to worry about. So yeah, don't be concerned with that. It's a light bag still. Slight bit heavier because of this infrastructure here, but nah, still light. So that'll do it. I recommend this. I think it's really, really good, and hopefully I don't have them for ages. Hopefully somebody will actually buy them. You know, stranger things have happened. So thanks for watching. If you've got any questions, put them in the comments and I'll get back to you, and I will see you in the next one.